Have you ever held your breath when you were nervous? You know, maybe when you're anxious? Have you ever had a situation where an environment that you were in made you feel anxious and there was no way out? Let's say a gathering or a talk or something where you have to stay for a bit. You're trying to get through that moment and you find yourself holding your breath. You can imagine how that feels. It's stifling. Or if you're nervous about something, but you have to deal with it for a period of time. It feels like you withdraw into your own body and like you just get tense just to get through it. That feeling is not a great feeling. It's not a great feeling at all. Also, imagine you bottled up something inside. Maybe you held your tongue. Maybe somebody made you angry and you wanted to just tell them what's what. Or maybe you just want to express to them that something they did upset you. But instead, because you want to keep the peace, you just bottle it up, you shove it down. Even when you do that, you feel your body get tense. You just don't feel relaxed. That can even trigger anxiety. Or maybe you bottle up how you feel about something. Maybe something's happening in the world that bugs you. You bottle it up because talking about it might disrupt the peace. Maybe you like someone, maybe you have feelings for someone, but you're so scared, you're so terrified of rejection that you bottle it up. And all these examples that I've used, none of them really work. Just makes you feel stressed, makes you feel more anxious, and yeah, you just don't feel great. And also, when this stuff builds up, it has to come out somehow. And if you don't bring it out in a healthy fashion, it's just gonna spurt out to you like a fizzy drink that you've just shaken and opened the top. Anger, if it's anger, if you've been just shoving your anger aside, it's gonna just flow out of you and you're gonna upset some people. If you like someone, you're gonna say something silly. It's just gonna fall out of your mouth and you're just gonna probably either ruin your chance or the other person will think, oh, that's cute. That's so cute. Who knows? Yeah. But it's not healthy to keep things bottled in at all. And sometimes they come out in the worst way imaginable. Now, what about your feelings? What if as a human being, you're a loving, giving person? That's you by nature. Unfortunately, we live in a world, and Bob Marley said it, and let me see if I can remember what he said. We don't live in a world that cherishes good people. We live in a world that uses good people. So imagine you are a loving, giving person. But in this cold world, you could have been used, abused, taken for granted. So to survive, you bottle it up. You bottle your feelings up. You bottle your anxiety on top of that. You bottle your nerves on top of that. So now you have your core feelings, your core being buried under numbness, anxiety, and nervousness. You're doing this because you're trying to protect yourself. Protect yourself from being hurt, protect yourself from being taken advantage of. You've opened up your heart so much, and now you're trying to close it to stop the arrows from getting through. So instead of dealing with it in a healthy fashion, you literally just close up shop. You shut up shop. Sometimes you can be in a relationship that makes you withdraw into yourself because of personality clashes. Now, let's say you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't really have much of a sense of humor and you're a complete clown. You'd have to restrict yourself, restrict your sense of humor to keep the peace. There's not a natural flow. Or if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and every time you give of yourself, they take and they give nothing back. Or they take, they devalue you, discard you. And it happens so much that you feel scared to reveal, to display who you are. You're scared to show who you are. You're scared to give love or affection or share who you are at your core. Because again, like Bob Marley said, we live in a world where people use you instead of cherishing you. In essence, you kind of temper your light because you feel like your light is just attracting moths. And you don't want moths. You know, they eat your fabric, they ruin your clothes. It's the last thing you want. But you temper your light because of fear. You in essence, you emotionally hold your breath. And no one can hold their breath for long periods of time without gasping for air, or if you're underwater, drowning. And we do not want that. We temper our light, we temper our energy to an unhealthy degree because we're scared of what it attracts and what it does. There's nothing wrong with tempering your energy. Sometimes I always say, too much is not good, too little is not good. You always got to find a middle ground, an equilibrium. But to temper all of your energy because you're scared, to not give who you are to the world is a travesty. All because you fear getting hurt or taken advantage of. Whatever reason you have for restraining yourself, the downside is you will become a zombie. If you keep restraining yourself and getting yourself in situations that make you want to restrain yourself even more, and the loop goes on and on and on, you will become a zombie and normal feelings will feel alien and a threat to you. And you're not going to be able to feel, you're not going to be able to be yourself. You're not going to be able to feel, you're not going to be able to emote. You're not going to be able to connect properly. You're not going to remember how to love, you're not going to remember how to feel. It's all going to be alien to you. And maybe for some people that's fine because they don't want to feel or love anymore, but that's no way to live. That's no way to live. That's not life. It's not life. And deep down inside, as much as you feel safe, numbing yourself, deep down inside, you know it's not life. You can feel it's not life. You can feel an emptiness. You can feel like something's missing. But the peace that you want to find to fill that gap scares you because of what you went through trying to find that peace. So you lie to yourself. Cognitive dissonance. You lie to yourself, the fox and the grapes. Those grapes are probably sour anyway. I don't need them. You know, it's not living. But it's understandable why people do it. But it's not living. And you will lose yourself if you restrain yourself. And also you will lose yourself if you keep putting yourself or ending up in situations that make you want to restrain yourself. The one thing you have to do is remove yourself from situations that make you collapse into yourself. They serve no purpose. The only purpose is they serve. The only purpose it serves is to strip you of your identity and who you are. Nobody wants that. Remove yourself from it. Whatever happens in life, it is so easy to become jaded and to just stop caring. But we're not built for that. As much as we think we are, as much as we try to be, we're not built for that. We're not built for that at all. The best thing to do is to cultivate your heart and protect it at the same time. So like I said before, anything that's a threat to your being or your heart, remove. It's not worth it. Cultivate your heart, cultivate your own self-love, build yourself. Sometimes we get so caught up in the things we want so badly, like we need it to complete us. And it's that thing that takes a chunk of us. Because we don't really love ourselves. We're looking for other things to love us in place of us loving ourselves. That never works. That's a recipe for disaster. So, best thing to do is bring it all to yourself. Cut everything out that strips you of your identity and who you are. Anything that takes advantage of who you are. There are no martyrs here. Don't be a martyr for anyone or anything. Do not give of yourself to make someone else feel better in the hopes that they will give in return and you will fill your void. Does not work. So scrap that. So cultivate yourself, cultivate your heart, cultivate your self-love, your inner peace, and just learn to build yourself back up. Everything is about balance. Look at yourself as well. You have to look at yourself. Everything in life is not everybody's fault or everything. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you have to realize you're the common denominator. Maybe you want things so badly. Maybe you are desperate for things. That energy will be used against you. As much as you think it's good to give of yourself, to give of yourself is not good. Because again, like Bob Marley said, we live in a world that uses people instead of cherishing them. So you always have to find a balance. I watch a few YouTube channels and I pick up a lot of information from them. And one bit of information was, don't ever give 100% of yourself to anybody or anything. Take 50 of that, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, in building yourself, and building security systems in yourself so that you can't lose a part of yourself. So that's one way to do it. Never let your heart go gray. Never. There's enough of that in the world. You want to be a light to the world that you're in. So my advice is keep cultivating, keep building, keep fighting, and also keep watching and keep observing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Just click on the bell. I am either going to stick a video here or here. I don't know yet, but you'll see. But thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.